The Joe Rogan Experience.
The thing is, these stuff aren't hard to obtain. Like, getting a Porsche isn't hard, right?
It's hard for a lot of people. Depends on how much you make, what you do, what kind of job you're trapped in.
Hard is relative.
Right.
Like I tell my kids, hard is basically undiscovered. That's all it is, right? So, for example, when you first do algebra, it's hard, right? But that's just because it's new. So hard equals new. That's what hard means. It's new because once you do algebra 3, 4, 5, 10 times, it's not new anymore, and therefore it's not hard. So once you break past the newness of a thing, it's no longer hard. Like building a business. It's not new to me, therefore it's not hard. It's very easy for me to build a business.
Yeah.
Because I've done it so many times in my life. You see what I'm saying? Jiffitize is cash flowing 4x what it was doing when I first joined the company. And all I did was make a few tweaks. But that's only because I'm not new to the tech startup space. I've been working with over 20 startups. Over 20 startups in a matter of 2-3 years as a consultant. So this stuff, when people say, oh, it's hard, it's like, no, it's not hard. It's new and you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing. It's not hard to achieve anything in this life. I used to work for 50 Cent, right? And when I lived in New Brunswick, right by Rutgers, I wasn't really a 50 Cent fan. I enjoyed his music, but I wasn't a fan to buy a poster. I bought this poster. It was him and G Unit, and he had this big stash of money. And I was like, yo, this poster motivates me. You fast forward 10 years and some other things I did to get close to 50, and I actually work with 50. That was technically hard, right? It's not easy to get next to 50, but when I did it, it happened like that. Then I started working with Carmelo Anthony.
So you're saying once it actually happened, it turned out it wasn't actually hard.
No, hard.
But it's hard for some people.
No, they're just not disciplined. Hard is dealing with yourself. That's what's hard. Can you defeat your own mind? So when I wake up every morning, the only thing I got to defeat is doubt. It's the only thing I have to defeat. Once I defeat doubt, I live in a limitless world, infinite possibilities. I can literally do anything. So people told me, oh, in order to be in tech, you need $1 million and this, that, and the third. Dude, I got equity in 3 tech companies. 3 tech companies. And I'm not rich. I didn't, put up millions to get into these companies. I'm part of these companies because I built me. And it wasn't hard. It really wasn't hard to get into these companies. I just had something to offer and they saw value in me. I want to be the next Elon Musk. I want to be the next Bill Gates. I want to be the guy that Zuckerberg hates. You see what I'm saying? I want to be the guy that builds the new Silicon Valley on the East Coast. Those are my aspirations. So when people tell me what you can and can't not do and it's hard, I'm like, dude, I'm selling Bitcoin. How many black dudes sell Bitcoin? None.
I don't know anybody who sells Bitcoin.
Exactly. And people are telling me this is hard. It's not hard. You get what you want. And I didn't get into Bitcoin out of dumb luck. I manifested that. I said I wanted to sell Bitcoin. How can I manifest it? Then I let it go and the universe brought me the opportunity and then it happened. When I first said I want to be a VC, first thing I want to do is start building a portfolio. I didn't look for companies. They found me. I just had to ask the universe, and it presented opportunities, and I just had to.
So what do you mean by you had to ask the universe?
I had to put the intention out there.
So do you think that literally by thinking about things, you can make them happen?
You can make the opportunity present itself. And then you have to be ready to take advantage. So we got to walk through the story of the 50 Cent thing, right? So I get invited to his bus launch, right, for the company. Now I'm sitting on the bus. They moved me to the back because of security reasons. So I'm in the back of the bus. When the bus start moving, in my head, fear kicks in and doubt kicks in. And I'm telling myself, I should just hop. The bus stopped and I said, I should just hop up and just start screaming. I'm on the bus with 50 Cent. And I'm like, nah, don't do that. They invited you out here. You got to sit here and that's not right. And, all these things society says is right. So I stand up and I go, yo, I'm on a bus with 50 Cent. Right. And then the whole crowd rushes the bus. After the crowd finishes, they take one of the energy drink shirts, they throw it on me, throw the hat on me, they bring me to the front of the bus. Now I'm sitting next to 50 Cent. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm in a 50 Cent company. But it's because I started off with defeat and doubt. But also listening to my intuition. My intuition said to hop up and do that. Right? But the opportunity was presented to me. I didn't create the opportunity. They DM'd me and said, yo, we want you to come. I didn't ask. They invited me. But it's because I kept putting that 50 Cent energy out there. You see what I'm saying? I kept putting that out there. Like, I want to mess with 50 Cent. I want to mess with. For 10 years, I've been putting that information, that energy out there. 50, if you listening, yo, holla at me. I want to work with you again. But I just really love 50 and his attitude. He's just really a fun dude. You know.
He had a funny thing about Father's Day. You see his rant about Father's Day?
Oh yeah.
Difference between Father's Day and Mother's Day. It's very funny.
Yeah. But you know, the universe, anything you ask for, it will present the opportunity. The only thing is, are you woke enough to see it? Can you identify it when it hits? And can you defeat the fear to
And do you have all the other bases in your life covered where you have the bandwidth to tackle something that's difficult? Correct.
Yeah. But usually the universe only presents you opportunities you can handle. Usually it doesn't, because if you couldn't handle it, you wouldn't be able to recognize it.
Do you say this like the universe presents this to you? Is this like a spiritual concept? I mean, is this like, are you manifesting reality with your thoughts and intentions? Do you really believe that?
All of that.
Why do you believe that?
Because I lived it. I experienced it.
But you lived it and you're successful at it. See, that's my perspective on that is always you hear about things like The Secret and the Law of Attraction. You hear that from people that are successful. They say, oh, I willed it into existence. Yeah. But what about the people that tried to will it into existence and nothing ever worked out right?
Well, ora et labora, right? Ora et labora is Latin for work and pray. A lot of people go into The Secret and they just praying, but they ain't working.
Right. That's important.
You know? So
I do see what you're saying. I don't look at it in the same way, but I look at it in a similar way. I think there is something to intention. There's something, and there's something also to having that kind of faith to believe in intention. Whereas I think a lot of people, they're reluctant to give into that because it seems too woo-woo and it seems like some crystals and fucking astrology and horse shit. You know what I mean?
Because there's a lot of that out there.
A lot of that out there.
The new age has ruined the law of attraction. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, just speak it into existence happen. No, that's not true. You have to first educate yourself. So when we talk about Hotep, right? When you talk about Hotep, you got to bring up the 5% nation. You got to bring up supreme mathematics, 0 cipher, 1 knowledge, 2 wisdom, 3 understanding. But it first starts at the number 1, right? Number 1 is knowledge. So the problem is people are trying to manifest, but they ain't got no knowledge of anything.
Right.
So how do you manifest something with no knowledge?
Got to educate yourself.
You got to first start educating yourself. And
discipline yourself so that you can educate yourself as well.
Right. And also knowledge is the springboard for imagination. Right. So if there's a complicated calculus problem, but you don't know what calculus is, how can the intuition feed you insight or inspiration to solve a calculus problem? You first have to have the knowledge of calculus. Then when you get it, you get all this influx of inspiration like Einstein talks about. You know, he sits down, he kind of meditates, and then the inspiration comes. But the inspiration can only talk to you based upon your understanding. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the problem is people are out here not educating themselves. You know, I my day begins and ends with educating myself. Begins, ends, and during the day, I'm just reading books, hopping between books and reading and listening to lectures. And people think I'm deep. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know whatever. I'm intelligent. But really, my secret is consuming as much information as possible. That's my secret. And then from that, I'm able to say, oh, well, you know, or, you know, studying history, you know, you can do a lot of things. But if you're not educating yourself or doing, you got to do something, like just start.